And now going to another of our big stories, which has to do with the new patriotic party. Now, over the weekend, we heard of the granting of an amnesty, a general amnesty, to all suspended members and all of those who are on, who are being investigated at the disciplinary committees. Now, what does this really mean for the party? We interrogate this particular issue, and joining us here on this particular issue, we have Dr. Arthur Kennedy, who is a physician and a political activist. Doc, good morning to you and thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you and to all your viewers.
Doc, but I want to find out, are you a leading member of the NPP or you were a leading member of the NPP?
I am a member of the NPP.
Oh, you still are a member?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Dr. Osai Kwapong is he's a CDD fellow. He's in charge of the Democracy Project. I hope I got it right. Doc, good morning to you and thanks for joining.
Good morning to you as well.
Okay. And in studio, I'll leave that to you. You said to that.
We've got to lay our support joining us as well.
Why would you leave that introduction way before to do?
Because it's nice to have me do it. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen, both on Zoom and in studio. Nada, I hope you've had a good week.
Yes, it's been a very wonderful week.
How did the news of granting amnesty come to you and your party generally?
Which amnesty?
You must have seen a statement from the NPP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one signed by the acting national chairman.
Oh, it's an everyday news. I think that, be as it may, they are trying as much as they can to sweep things under the carpet. And of course, I am excited that we have Dr. Arthur Kennedy on Zoom. I remember that I had to take my time to read his book, Chasing the Elephant into the Bush. I do not think that the elephant has come back from the bush. You understand me? There were basic and fundamental reasons why individuals left the party. There were persons who were also suspended illegally, unconstitutionally. Persons.
Which are these persons?
There are a lot of them across the length and breadth of the country, in many constituencies. They did not follow due process, constitutional laid down process, and they were suspended. In fact, the likes of Paul Afoko, okay, they are still there. I mean, you ask Dr. Arthur Kennedy if he is a member or he was a member or...
Does he still a member of the MPP?
Yes, that is him. Arthur Kennedy is a member. Well, that he thinks he is a member, but maybe, the party does not even recognize his membership. You see, look at the likes of Nyaho Tamaklo.
Surely you know you're a member because there are ways that you know that you're a member. It's not the party that
it's the party that recognizes you. You can choose to be a member. So,
surely you know that.
Yes.
You cannot choose.
So let us not. They are trying as much as they can just to cover stuff, but it's not going to work. When you have gone.
What do you think they are covering?
When you have gone into an election and you have lost this, you've performed abysmal. This was an unprecedented defeat. It has never happened in the tradition of the UP. Okay, and you have still not been able to put yourselves together. You have still not been able to address the issues that were raised by members who left the party. The party has values. The party has a tradition. The party has a constitution. You understand me? And people left because the party's values were trampled upon. People left because the party was squeezed into one small element and put into people's pocket. The people left because they feel that the party has become unconstitutional. The handlers of the party were doing it unconstitutionally. And yet all these matters have not been addressed. And you bring a letter saying that you have granted amnesty. To who? And to whom?
All right.
And even in the letter, I don't know if you can project it.
It says...
there is a paragraph I want, that talks about the caveat, the condition. You grant amnesty with conditions. It's in bad faith. It's in bad faith. If you are granting amnesty, you are granting amnesty.
Okay. Members who have forfeited their membership are required to submit a formal application to the National Secretariat for reinstatement. Upon reinstatement, you shall remain ineligible to contest any internal party election until a mandatory...
If you are granting an amnesty, you want me to apply.
Is that what you're talking about?
If you are granting an amnesty, you want me to apply for that amnesty. That is number one. Number two, then you put a caveat on me. Then, okay, let me be.
If you left, if you left a party...
No, but that...
Because I like to think that amnesty is
the Constitution says that if you have supported a candidate either than the party's candidate, or you have gone to, form a political party whatsoever, that's what the Constitution says. That then means that you have forfeited your membership. And so if you are granting amnesty to people, you do not come there with caveats.
No, but you need to be fair to them. It says that, to all party members who have been suspended or whose disciplinary cases are currently pending before the appropriate adjudicatory bodies, we hereby serve notice that this directive lifts all such suspensions and waives any ongoing proceedings against affected members. That's one.
That's the amnesty.
That's one, yes. And it says, members who have forfeited their membership. You left, you say you are not, so you need to apply again.
And the first one, what did he say?
For those who have been suspended, the party suspended them.
The party suspended
them? Yes, so they say we've lifted those suspensions.
So what is an amnesty? Are we able to give a definition to what an amnesty is?
I can look that up for you.
Yeah, look at that. But I mean, generally, what we do know...
It's an official pardon for people who have been convicted.
Yes.
Yes.
All right? So if I have gone against your constitution, you think I have gone against your constitution, and I have been convicted, and you are granting me amnesty, you do it in absolute.
But that's not for people like you who say, I left on my own volition. He says,
and I am asking
you took that decision, so if you are going to come, reapply.
We are not saying we are going back.
No, I'm not.
But the fundamental question we are asking is the reasons why those people left, the reasons why we left, has those issues been addressed?
Okay, I hear.
Fundamentally.
Let's stay there. We'll come back to you. But let me bring in Dr. Arthur Kennedy, who is still a member of the NPP. Doc, once you're a member, what do you make of this directive from your party?
It is interesting that you need to ask to confirm my membership. That itself underlines the problem that the party has. I think that the intent is good, but I think the execution was botched. The intent of granting an amnesty, or more to the point, unity that is needed, is a good thing. I think that unity is indispensable to success of political parties. And that has been demonstrated repeatedly throughout history. The Democratic Party in the US in 1968 lost because they were divided. Republicans lost in 1992 to Clinton et al. Because Ross Perot, who was a Republican, waged a very potent independent candidacy. And even in Ghana, the Dankwa Buzi Adombo tradition lost in 1979 because they were divided. And in actual fact, this 2024 election, we lost partly because we were divided. I know that as a summer doesn't make one swallow doesn't make a summer, and one individual doesn't make a party. But when Alan left, he was symbolizing fundamental problems of the party. And as Boache Jakun recently said, a lot of people had left the party in their hearts. Political parties are places where we should go and seek friendships and build relationships and have joy in the service of our country. I think our party leaders have forgotten the essence of political parties, that is building up the numbers. 20% of John Mahamed's votes came from good old-fashioned NPP members who, of course, didn't resign publicly, so don't need amnesties. They are there. And those votes, we don't own them in 2028. We have to earn them back. And by the way, those 20% of votes will account for 1.2 million votes. If we had all of them, maybe Mahama wouldn't be sitting in Flagstaff House.
But how did you determine that 20%?
Ask Musa Dankwa. He did exit polling.
Okay.
All we have to do is ask him. He did exit polling. And not only that, there were quite a lot more NPP members who just couldn't bring themselves to go to the polls and vote for Mahama. So they stayed home.
Yeah.
I am just saying that we have a lot of work to do to earn all those votes back. They heard Nanado's advice. The vote belongs to you. You can do with it whatever you want. So they did what they wanted. As patriotic Ghanaians, we need to reassure them that we heard their message, that we understand our mistakes, that we are more humble. And I think that this amnesty does not address that. And not only that, this amnesty is hypocritical because we are the same party that in 2008 brought somebody who didn't even have a party membership card and made them running mate. By the way, earlier that year, at least 5 people who wanted to run as parliamentary candidates had been disqualified because they had not, quote, developed the party enough. So I think that we owe a lot of people apologies, not just amnesties. Paula Foko, for example, Kwabena Japan, for example. We need the Alan supporter who lost the eye and all those people. We need to apologize to Ghanaians for running the party as if it was a private club that belonged to a few individuals. A party is a public institution and should be run in a way that is attractive to people. We need those 20% of Mahama voters to come home, and not just that, those who stayed home to go and vote, but more importantly, we need some NDC people to look at us and say we are attractive and cross the carpet so we can elect a president and a majority in 2028.
Doc, I'll stay with you. If you look at the statement, it's signed by the acting national chairman. In practice and over the years, would you say that this amnesty would be binding, considering that it's coming from an acting chairman? What does the optic also look like for you?
Oh, in terms of him being acting, if he is acting, he has all the powers inherent in the office, just like the acting Chief Justice, for example, has the powers of the office. So it is not the binding nature of it. I think it is the spirit behind it. I think that it is a grudging amnesty that is calculated to keep people still on the side. If you grant an amnesty to somebody and he's not popular and he wants to go and run for office, let them go and lose. Why do you have to bar them from running for office? That in itself shows that the amnesty is not sincere. And if you had a moment, I will tell you, and through you tell NPP members something late Akenten Appiah Minka told me the first time Alan left in 2008. When I saw him in Kumasi, you know, people like Nanado and others were thumping their chest and say, oh, let him leave. Apino told me a very somber story. He said in 1979, when the party was breaking up between the PFP and the UNC members, he said, I was in the room and people said, in 1969, we won 104 seats. So if 10 people are leaving, these people, they account for only about 10 seats. Let them go. We still win 94. They had forgotten that the 1969 votes were not frozen in place. So they went on and lost 1979. Apino said, I think in retrospect, that if we had tried a little harder, we could have kept those people with us. And if we had kept them with us, maybe we would have been in government in 1979. And he added something very deep. He said, maybe by our selfishness and narrow-mindedness, we lost power to the untested Liman and we doomed the country by risking its security unnecessarily. That was Akenten Appiah Minka.
Right, maybe we go to Dr. Osei-Kwapong.
Interesting.
Yeah?
Yes, but before we go there,
Okay.
Doc, you say that the party should apologize publicly. I mean, how can the party do that? Because they know the members who have been offended. Why not call them into conclave or something like that and do it?
Because as they say in Twi, baby, I watch
Yeah, me sure.
So the same way you suspended them publicly and humiliated them, that's the same place where you should go and make peace with them. So the apologies are important, and the apologies should not only be to people like Afolku, it should be to the people of Ghana for our boneheaded policies, for being members who foisted upon Ghana a government that sank $100 million into the ground for a hole, while the Crowfrom market was uncompleted and our children were sitting under trees learning. We should apologize for stuff like that.
Doc, I have a question on the apology, maybe before we go to Dr. Papon. If a political party grants amnesty, would it mean that whatever crime for which you were suspended or for other reasons, it's not true?
Well, it would not necessarily mean that it's not true. It can even mean that the crimes are true, but the party has decided that the exigencies of the moment matter more than your previous crimes. And by the way, in the US, somebody like Bernie Sanders, who isn't even a Democrat, can run in the Democratic primary. I think parties must be inclusive. And I think that is part of our problem in Africa, that too many people seem to think of parties as private clubs owned by some individuals. To the extent that we need to shift the balance, I think political parties must have the power to deal with powerful people. Like, for example, the ANC recalling Mbeki because they were unhappy with his presidency. That would be the day. And by the way, I was present when Chairman Kwabneji and what did they call it? McMenu. Yeah. Had a very deep conversation about how they could do that in Ghana. I thought that was a great initiative.
But okay, if it is true, why should they then apologize? If it is true that that does not mean that what they did is right, why should a party apologize? Just by giving...
They should apologize for the harshness of expelling them. Okay. I am just saying that a party that could pick someone who didn't even have a party card, give him a party card at night and make him running mate, has no beef disciplining anybody.
Okay. Let's bring in Dr. Osei Kwapon here. Doc, so some people have said this particular action by the party will bolster people to be indisciplined in the party. What's your view of this action by the party?
Thank you very much. I mean, I'm not sure Amnesty provides an incentive for people to be disciplined. As Dr. Arthur Kennedy said, probably the party has sat down and realized that based upon the exigencies of the time and whatever it is that they are confronting, you would notice that one of the things that the party has been regularly harping since their 2024 defeat is party unity. It takes a lot more than just amnesty to forge party unity and reposition for the next election. But I'm sure in their calculus, these are some of the steps that they can take to forge party unity, and therefore the reason why they are offering this amnesty. So I'm not sure this should be seen as, or others should interpret this as, I can do anything in the party, engage in quote unquote acts of indiscipline, because at some point the party, because they prize unity over everything else, would grant me an amnesty. I hope that doesn't become the unintended consequence of this.
And you say it takes more than the amnesty. What else do you, from where you sit, expect the party to do if it wants to forge that unity ahead of 2028?
One of the things that I have regularly said is that there comes a point where the party has to collectively own the 2024 defeat. I've had conversations with some NPP friends who would say, well, we know why we lost and we know the people who caused our defeat. And there's some element of truth in that. But for how long are you going to litigate that narrative? Because then the more you keep pointing out it's person A or it's person B, I think it drags the process of finding a way to collectively move beyond what happened in 2024 and reposition yourself for 2028. So that for me is one of the things that I think the party should do. And then they also have to reflect on what public sentiment was like with regards to the party, how it governed, some of the pinch points that it created for Ghanaians, and how they make amends and reconcile with the Ghanaian people, and even with some of their own voters. I mean, if you think of Musa Dankwa's exit polls, that shows even for their own party members, those who decided to stay away from the polls, that for me, there's a lot more that needs to be done to reposition the party if they want to be able to regain power in the next election.
What do you make of the timing of this amnesty granting? What do you make of the timing?
I think if you also put it within the context of how soon the party wants to have the presidential primaries, I have this feeling that there are a lot of things that the party wants to quickly get behind them, and then do other forms of reconciliation as they move towards 2028. And so I suspect that this is all part of the process of, look, let's try and put some things behind us. And therefore, if amnesty is what we also have to grant at this material moment, let's do that and put all of the pieces together.
Okay. Doc, but let's look at the person who signed this particular letter, the acting national chairman of the party, Mr. Dankwa Smith Bute, who, according to sources within the party, is, favors the Kennedy camp the more. Recently at their Congress, the party also passed resolutions to say every past executive will then be, a voter in the presidential primary, if my memory is right. I mean, isn't that then a bullet to favor that camp to say, well, we're giving amnesty to all of these, past executives who did it? Is the person who favors Kennedy Japan and therefore only ignore to Kennedy Japan? Wouldn't that be, a smarter way for him to have done it?
Except that you also cannot guarantee who these former past party executives are going to vote for. I mean, if you're 100% sure that he being the acting chairman is doing this because he's 100% sure that the affected persons are going to vote for a particular candidate, then you can begin to read meaning into why he's taking this step. But since there's no guarantee of if they return to the party who they are going to support, I think it will be very difficult then to say that there's another motive beyond this idea of party unity that is driving the acting national chairman. I also believe that this was not a decision that he unilaterally took. I believe it's a decision that was taken in consultation.
Well, he says that in the letter anyway, that it was after a meeting that they took that decision. Yeah.
Nana Yao, do you envisage some members who forfeited their membership to return?
Including himself?
Not at this point.
But you think there's a time that members...
Not at this point. Not when the issues that they complained about, the reasons that led to them walking out, are still not been addressed. Okay, even before the apology, the party should be able to accept the wrongdoings. That listen, we did wrong. All right, we put in policies that got Ghanaians angry. We exhibited certain behaviors that did not sit down well with our own members. We exhibited certain characteristics and certain things that frowned on our own values as a political party.
Be able to cite an example, just one. Not the one for Ghanaians.
We had complained about the arrogance of power. All right? More than 9 of the persons who were going to contest had issues that they actually petitioned the party on, how the whole electoral process was ongoing. Dr. Kennedy gave an example. Zach, who was Alan's agent in the Northeast region, he was beaten. His eyes came out. Have you heard the party even address that issue? We have values. We said that we were...
beating. Why not just... Isn't it criminal? Why don't you just proceed to what can convict you over beating? Why would...
Of course, we took processes. He's a member of the party. Of course, we took the matter to the police. They handled it the way they wanted to handle it. But the point is, it was an internal matter.
Okay.
All right? And sometimes you are not able to escalate certain matters. But the point was that, is it only Alan Tremantin who had complained about what was ongoing? What wrong do you think that Paul Afoko did to the party that he was suspended? Japan, today, he says he wants to contest again as flag bearer.
A flag bearer, yes.
He was accused of having accepted certain goodies from the then NDC. Am I right? That the wife also took some scholarship and other things, issues of corruption and all of that. They never addressed the matter. He was called back to the party.
But isn't that a true party person?
Okay, so it means he's corrupt. So it means he's corrupt.
No, nobody has proved that. Has anybody proved?
And nobody else has also obviously signed it. I mean, let's be real. Let's deal with the matter head on. What he was accused of, did he do it? What was the basis of calling him back? What would be the base? So you think that party members would just run to the party because this letter has been issued by the first vice, the acting chairman?
You never know. Let's wait.
No, I mean, if it would happen, it would have happened. You see, until the issues are addressed, until the issues are addressed, it will be difficult for the NPP to be able to say that indeed it is still a political party. Okay. As we sit and as we discuss this, I personally see the NPP as a party that has gone haywire.
Okay, all right.
Acting very unconstitutional. I mean, if you are granting an amnesty, and I've stated it before, if you are granting an amnesty, you don't do that with the caveat.
Well, you are an opposition party to the NPP, so I'm sure that, you know, there is a tangent you go, oh? Disagree?
Surprisingly,
all right.
It will surprise you to know that some of those persons who are handling some of the issues in NPP today do not even know how the NPP was formed.
Okay, thank you.
They do not even understand the values of the party.
Okay, I'm grateful.
And so if we would want to, just to conclude, if they would want to do it properly, it shouldn't be this hypocritical.
Okay, all right. Dr. Arthur Kennedy, what do you expect from your party now that you've laid this foundation about they need to own up to, you know, a lot of things that happen, they need to apologize? What do you expect from your party from today?
Actually, before I say that, let me defend acting chairman Dankwa Smith a little bit,
okay.
Bute as we all call him. I think that he's a conciliator. He doesn't like confrontation. And I think that he's one of the moderates who is trying to get the right things done. I think, though, that Mr. Sapon states, there are more deeper issues. For example, this running to pick a flag bearer that most people think was done to favor one particular candidate, broadening the franchise beyond the former party executives. I think that fundamentally what would really resonate on the ground is reforms that will let every card-bearing member of the party be able to vote. Those things will be very popular. And the other thing is also this blatant monetization must stop. You know, things like setting arbitrary high registration fees for flag bearer aspirants plus development fees. Those things have very bad resonance on the streets. And the irony is that regardless of taking all these amounts of money from them. You have to raise significant amounts of money during campaigning. So in effect, you're shooting yourself in the foot when you do things like that.
Grateful to you, Dr. Arthur Kennedy. Dr. Osai-Kwapong, before we let you go, your concluding remarks.
So again, the other part though of the communication from the party that has to do with reapplying and then also being barred from running for any internal party election for another 2 years. I just hope that doesn't create a disincentive for those who would otherwise be eager to embrace this offer of amnesty. It just seems that it's some sort of a conditional amnesty, and I'm not sure why those 2 additional administrative directives have been made part of this offer of amnesty.
Okay. Dr. Grateful to you. Dr. Osai-Kwapong is a CDD fellow joining us. Also, Dr. Arthur Kennedy is a member of the NPP and a physician. He joined us as well. And in studio, we have Nanaya, who is now a member of the Movement for Change.
He's always been.
Oh, no, I'm saying that. But he used to be an NPP member, isn't
Oh,
it?
that ship long sailed, did it not?
But he used to be, we are talking about NPP, so he used to be a member.
Right.
But now a member of the Movement for Change. Oh, you are discarding that one, a former member of the NPP.
So as it stands.
Oh, my. Please stay with us a small.